Hey guys. Wanted to go ahead and bring you guys the update I was able to find on the case of Ableseth and John Barnes. So we have here Louisiana man accused of raping, then getting custody of their child says it's a lie. Ableseth accused Barnes of raping her and sexually assaulting her teenage daughter. Crysta Ableseth told Fox News that John Barnes, then 30, forced himself on her in 2005 when she was 16 after a night out with Barnes at a bar in Hammond, Louisiana, and the sexual assault produced a child. It is a lie. This is him, guys. I'm going to pause this here. Okay, he says this is a lie. She was at a bar with a fake ID telling everyone she was a college student, said Barnes, who owns a tech company, Gumbo Digital Branding. I had no idea she was 16 and I did not rape her. That is absolutely unequivocally false. 5 years after the sexual encounter that he said was consensual, he learned that Ableseth, now 32, that he had fathered a child, and the DNA test for paternity, and he was awarded joint custody. More than a decade of child support, child custody litigation ensued on both sides, repetitively dragging each other back and forth to court. The battle reached a shocking milestone in February when Ableseth accused Barnes of drugging and raping their teenage daughter. Weeks later, Ableseth said that and again, guys, sorry for Louisiana names, Tangipahoa Parish family judge Jeffrey Cash of the 21st Judicial Court handed temporary sole custody to Barnes, all because she gave the teen a cell phone. Sorry, guys, this case just blows my mind. The mom went on to the media blitz, blasting for jurist of decision, calling Barnes a violent rapist who is politically well connected, that is able to corrupt the legal system and ultimate injustice. Oh, sorry, guys. Kobe, are you okay, bub? Sorry, life happens live. And I probably won't edit that out. It's my pit bull. I'm not sure what he was doing over there. Sorry about that. So let's see, where were we at? All I've been trying to do is protect my daughter, Barnes told Fox Digital News. There is no way in hell I have influenced the very high level organizations that are geared towards protecting children's rights and safety into sweeping her claims of rape under child abuse under the rug. The judge on the case unsealed a trove of family court papers Wednesday, stretching back to 2011 in response to Ableseth's stunning allegations and more nuanced version of the couple's messy custody battle has emerged. Paternity and child support. Sorry, guys. The petition for paternity was initiated by Ableseth in 2011. The judge wrote in a filing suit was filed demanding DNA samples from Barnes and James Threaton, who was incarcerated at the time. Threaton had signed the child's birth certificate, and the young girl had last name called him Daddy, according to the records. After the test revealed that Barnes was her father, both parents voluntarily agreed to joint custody in October of 2011 without intervention from the court, and neither would pay child support, the court filings would show. Miss Bird Ableseth requested Mr. Barnes be named the father of the minor child, consistent and consented to share custody since the onset case, wrote Cachet in a court document. But Barnes grew very frustrated that Ableseth continued to encourage the relationship between ex-con Threaten and the child, taking the girl to see him in prison. He told Vox Digital News. She was undermining my relationship with my daughter, teaching my daughter that she has two dads, Barnes said. A judge later ruled that the child could have no contact with Threaten. Okay, in my opinion, that's not a judge's place. If this man was in prison or not knowing his story or why he was in prison, if he raised her and was on her birth certificate, then in my opinion, and you guys can take this how you want to, there's a difference in a daddy and a father. Okay, so we'll get back to this. Another point of the conversation, Barnes said, was a revolving door of men at Ableseth's home. He repeatedly asked Ableseth to be held in contempt for allowing various men to sleep over while her daughter was present, in violation of their custody agreement, court papers show. Her mother goes through men like a revolving door, he said. Men were constantly coming out of my child's life. She had 3 husbands in 3 years. It wasn't healthy. In June of 2012, Ableseth sued for child support, and a judge ruled that Barnes would pay her $450 a month. Barnes sued for sole custody in May of 2015, accusing Ableseth of continuing a foster care relationship between her daughter and Threaten and having men stay overnight at the home when the daughter was present. He also asked for fresh accounting of the child support obligations. Okay, so this is going to be about the sheriff and the rape charges that we're going to come up on here. And I think the rape charges are on the last screen. So this is the rape charges here. And I know that's kind of small on the side, guys, but in the second video that I did, and I'll try to add a card on the end of this video if I can get it to work, but I'm not going to promise it's going to work. But I have done a series of videos on this case, and of course they're all hashtagged. Like I said, flood that hashtag so we can get this on a federal level and get somebody to see this that can get this lady some help. But I did do an update on the sheriff, but I'll go ahead and read into what they have here since we are doing an update. So, rape probe sheriff dropped the ball. A month later, on July 1st, 2015, Ableseth filed a police report for the first time alleging that Barnes had raped her, according to the document obtained by WBRZ. Now, we know WBRZ is the news source that she went to originally to break her case or bring her case out into media. Ableseth told Fox News that Barnes had raped her on his couch as she woke up the next morning, nude and on his bathroom floor. The parish sheriff, Daniel Edwards, released a statement on Friday saying that it had turned the case over. I don't know why it said it had, but I wouldn't have worded it like that. Had turned the case over to District Attorney Scott Perlows on the 21st Judicial District in Louisiana. Perlows did not return request for comment. Edwards said that Ableseth's complaint was not properly investigated, and our department absolutely dropped the ball. Ableseth did not follow up with criminal complaint until April of 2022. A team of investigators was assigned to be given the complex nature of the findings, and the case was turned over to the district attorney's office, which will decide to pursue the charges, the statement says. Her advocate, Stacy Trish, who runs the Save Live 35 Foundation, stepped in 8 months ago after Ableseth reached out for help. Trish called the ordeal a horror story, and I agree with her. Sorry, guys. I think it's allergy season or something. I apologize for continuously coughing. And said if anyone else would have raped a 16-year-old child, that a person would have been in prison. Mom says ordered to pay the alleged rapist child support. In 2016, Cash, who had recently been assigned the case, ordered Ableseth to pay $117 a month in child support retroactive to 2015. Ableseth taught Fox News Digital that the judge issued the child support decision based on her potential earnings, reasoning that she had a master's degree and should be able to pull in $80,000 a year. Wow. She was making about $35,000 working part-time as a waitress at a Ponchalula seafood and steak, according to filings. Barnes was earning about $102,000 running his tech company and working for an oil company. She was earning money under the table and trying to avoid paying child support, which is why the judge made that ruling, said Barnes, who added she refused to pay for 18 months. The state began garnishing her wages. Okay, so she was making money under the table. The judge shouldn't have never held that in court unless he had proof to show that she had other income coming in my opinion. The secret cell phone sexually explicit TikTok posts. In December of 2020, Barnes again moved for expanded custody, accusing Ableseth of allowing their daughter of 14 to make out with her 17-year-old boyfriend in the room unsupervised. He also accused Ableseth of providing her daughter with a second cell phone, unfair access to social media, when she already had one with parental controls that he had given her. A few weeks later, Ableseth contacted the Department of Child and Family Services to report that Barnes had allegedly pulled their child's hair and ear and that the young child was afraid to go home to his house. She moved to limit Barnes's custody, and I don't blame her. If my daughter came to me and said that she was being abused in any way, form, or fashion, yeah, I would have done the same thing. Cash presented over the hearing in May of 2021, which centered the secret cell phone. And I'm going to put my quotey fingers up there, guys. The daughter had allegedly been using to upload various sexually explicit TikTok posts, according to the court papers. She was also sending inappropriate photos via the phone, including a picture of herself with a boyfriend, in bed, sexually explicit messages, the papers say. The judge denied each parent's request for the expanded custody order, but ordered them to obtain the passcode and for the phone and review its contents. 5 months later, according to the judge, Ableseth still hadn't turned over the child's phone and claimed it had been wiped and stolen. Cash held in her contempt for letting the child have a third phone, banned the child from having another device, and ordered the parents to have logins for the girls' social media accounts. He also ordered this is crazy, Ableseth to pay Barnes $500 in legal fees. Barnes, accused of raping daughter, loses custody. The allegations reached new disturbing extremes in February 25th of 2022. Ableseth filed for an emergency restraining order against Barnes in favor of herself and her daughter, which is automatically granted, alleged that he had drugged and sexually assaulted their daughter 2 nights in a row while in his home. The daughter was taken to the Children's Hospital in New Orleans, where she was evaluated, and the doctor confirmed that there was evidence of forced entry congruent with sexual assault. Okay, the reason I slowed down and read that is I do have a sub, and I think for all my subs that were looking for the information on the alleged SA, there it is, right there. Children's Hospital in New Orleans is where she was taken. And I apologize for the earlier video and the comment that I did leave on the video that I was not able to remember what hospital it was. There's the hospital. She continued in the handwritten protection for criminal charges and sexual assault pending the blood work and testing results. In the petition, the restraining order that Barnes alleged sexual assault of her. Now, I thought I had that pulled up for you guys. Here it is. We'll leave that on screen here. This is the restraining order. It's a screenshot of the court document, shows Crysta Ableseth's handwritten application for a restraining order filed in February 25, 2022, accusing John Barnes of allegedly sexually assaulting their daughter, and hearing officer determined that there was no medical evidence to support the allegation. I don't understand how there's no medical evidence when there's a doctor above that said that there was clearly evidence that there was forced entry. Forced entry is forced entry. Okay, so subject at hand. My daughter was conceived as the product of the defendant, John P. Barnes, raping me when I was a minor child of 16 years of age, she wrote. I suspect drugs were used by him to sedate me, and I was unable to move while he raped me. Now it is alleged that he committed the same heinous crime, on our 15-year-old daughter. This is the first time that Cash says Ableseth mentioned that Barnes had raped her since the custody of the proceedings in 2011. Barnes says, devastated by the accusations, I did not see or speak to my daughter for a month, he recalled. A hearing officer ruled on March 18th that the criminal charges are not being accepted as medical evidence, does not support allegations in the petition. Ableseth was home with the flu, voluntarily dismissed the restraining order at the hearing of her attorney, according to the court documents. I don't understand that, because we've had video court for a long time, so why couldn't they offer this lady video court so she could still participate in this? But, sorry, soapbox there. 3 days later, Barnes filed for temporary and sole custody, alleging that Ableseth gave her daughter a phone with violation of the court order, made up false accusations of sexual abuse to gain custody, and permitted their child to have sex with an 18-year-old. He wrote the petition, Ableseth is taking my child, many allegations against Barnes so that he would be arrested. That same day, Cash granted Barnes request of sole custody pending the outcome of the emergency hearing in the meantime. The jurist gave Ableseth supervised visits on alternating Saturdays. Ableseth then filed a motion to terminate Barnes' parental rights based on the allegedly conceived through the commission of felony rape, and the hearing is being held on July 15th. The court proceedings have taken a toll on Ableseth and her family. She recently remarried and has a 17-month-old boy. Oh, bless her heart. Sorry, guys. Coffee break. Just saying. It has been a strain on my family and definitely on my family now. This consumes my life, she said. I'm shook to the core. It has taken a turn that is unfathomable. Barnes said he adores his daughter and that he only wants the best for her, and means having rules and boundaries, and her very intelligent. He wants to become a nurse. Although she is still in high school, she plans to take college courses next year. She has a very promising future, he told Fox News. I want to preserve that and keep her on the right track of a loving parent would want for any child. And I have to agree with him there. Like, any parent would want that for their child. But also, on the same note, guys, no mother would want their daughter with a rapist, especially not the man that raped her. I mean, that's just insane. I can't wrap my mind around it. Like, how can a judge grant custody after, knowing that this child is a product of rape, which doesn't, in my opinion, make her anything other than a beautiful, beautiful human being, so I'm floored, guys. I'm gonna try to play this video, but I want to make sure it'll load before I pull it up, because my computer's kind of, I don't know, having a moment. So
if you have been injured in a car accident and you haven't gotten compensation for your case,
not do that. So I'm going to continue to follow this case and bring you guys the updates on it. Okay, so hopefully this is going to load.
One night back in 2005, I was with a couple of my friends, and one of my friends' brother was in town, and she wanted to go and visit him where he was at. We went to the Pine Street Pub, and that's where him and his friends were. John Barnes was one of his friends. We were there hanging out. My friend wanted to leave, and she said, "You know, I'm going. You know, whether y'all come or not, basically." And John said, "Don't worry about it. I'll bring you home." You know, we had mutual friends, so I agreed. That was okay. I got inside his vehicle, and he did not bring me home. He brought me to his house. He proceeded to rape me on his living room couch. From that, I became pregnant. Found out, you know, 9 weeks later that I was going to have a baby. I didn't know what to do, but I was actually, you know, like, oh, I want to keep her. I love, you know, I love her already as soon as I found out. And then whenever she was 5 years old, John found out about her. He started court proceedings. We did the DNA test. He was definitely hers. I mean, she was definitely his. And then we went to court in 2015, and he was awarded 50-50 custody of her. And then in 2016, I was ordered to pay him child support, and it was retroactive to 2015. So I've basically been paying since 2015. And then on top of that, his legal fees and other court costs, things of that nature. Didn't think that something like this would progress this far. It's been hard the entire time, but here recently it's taken a turn that's just unfathomable.
It really is horrifying. I mean, honestly, when I started hearing all the details, like I said, when they came to me and started giving me all these details, I'm just sitting there listening like, this cannot be America. You know, this just cannot be America. How in the world is this going on? I mean, it's the whole situation is ludicrous.
And I have to agree with her. It's ludicrous. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. And remember, subscribe, like, and share this story. Like, even if you don't share my video, share this story. You can log on my Twitter, my Facebook. I'll try to see if I can't get a PDF version downloaded and drop it in the link in this description of this video. Share this story out. We really need to try to get this at a federal level. But thanks for watching, guys.